it's a wild experience watching something where I'm so critical, like so like every little detail I am like, oh my god, that's a massive change, that's a big deal, this is crazy, the things they're changing, I can't believe it. Look at this small detail they left out, clearly that wasn't important to Izuyama. Oh my god, there's so many things that are happening, it was insane. Okay, what can I say about Attack on Titan without, like, I don't know, ruining any discussions coming up to, like, talking about too much. Why don't we start off by saying that, let's look at this trailer, alright? Let's look at this, Attack on Titan Season 4, Part 3, Part 2 trailer, something like that, right? So I saw this trailer, and I reacted to this on stream, alright? And I said, this is a bit worrying, alright? I said, there's some shots that look okay, like this beginning stuff, ready? Like, this looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. I didn't actually remember that from the anime. I remember this in the anime. This looks okay. I complained about this a bit because I'm like, oh yeah, it looks way cooler in the manga versus here. Anyway, I was completely wrong, right? Let me just say, especially about these shots in the beginning. Like this shot of the Colossal looking down is one of the greatest decisions they ever made. I couldn't believe it. I think the scene that they adapted in the anime, I think it's way better than what was even in the manga, and I love the manga, all right? You're talking to the biggest 134 fan, all right? I think the idea of showing all the different places on in the world and transitioning back to this Titan on the beat of the music every single time, of it looking down, the same Titan, you don't even change the background to make it look like it's like moving in another place of the world or whatever. It's just this single Titan. I think that's a genius directing idea, right? That's like a very small detail that I would never think of doing, but it's so cool. I think it worked really well. Anyway, that's my first thing I had to talk about. Also the black and white baby thing, I thought that was very cool. Honestly, when I think about, like, because I've rewatched quite a bit since the first time watching, the baby thing is my favorite thing in the episode. Obviously, it's my favorite thing that ever happened in Attack on Titan, probably in the manga, and I think they did a great job. You know, they adapted it in a way that wasn't, what do I say? It wasn't when they transitioned to black and white, you know, and they focus on the baby, I'm like, wow, this is cool, you know? They actually put some effort into this, you know? They're not just adapting page by page. They're actually putting some effort and thought into what the actual emotion is in this scene, rather than just adapting it, so I thought that was cool. But anyway, that's my first thing I have to say, because I did complain about the directing. I think for the most part, the directing is very good in this final episode. Now, my overall thoughts on this episode is, it's tough. I haven't concretely decided yet, and one day eventually when I do my digest at the end of this month, I'll give it a proper ranking in my 2023 rankings. This is the most I've ever cried watching an Attack on Titan episode, I can say that confidently, which usually bodes well for ranking in terms of how much I like things. What else do I have to say? I think I generally agree with, there's a person in this sphere right here, even on this chat, Miller the Killer. I generally agree with him, and I think Ciclet, and maybe others also agreed with this, which is that the action animation at the beginning of this, the Battle of Heaven and Earth, I don't think it was very, like, it wasn't anything standout. Everything above, when they're still above Eren, like standing on the actual top of the Titan, I think it was completely, like, passable. Like, it was good. Like, I enjoyed watching it. It wasn't anything special at all. Which is crazy to see all these people talk about how incredible the animation is as well, but I don't know, it's perfectly passable, I think. When they go under the ribs, basically, I thought that looked really good in terms of, like, art and everything. Animation-wise, like, it's all fine and everything. But after the initial fighting stuff, after that, it was all great in terms of animation. But, yeah, I guess those are my overall thoughts. A lot of changes, a lot of things made explicit at the ending, with... Obviously, they added an entire scene to 139 and changed a little bit of the context. Like, they got rid of one of the... I guess they added blood to the trampled land panel, and they spent a lot of time there, added the 80% line to that point instead of putting it at the beginning of the chapter. I think that all... There's some stuff... I don't want to talk too much about it, because we are going to talk about this on the weekend, but I generally like it. I'm a big... I don't know if everyone knows this who's listening to me right now, but I am a massive 139 fan. I really like the ending of Attack on Titan, and I don't think this insulted anything that I liked about it, so I think it was good. I did like it. Now, they didn't include the cinema scene, which was a volume bonus. I think that's definitely a hit against the episode, but obviously I'm one of the only few people in the world who care about that. They adapted the final pages in the epilogue. I thought that was interesting. I feel like more focus should have been placed on it. It was quite little in the credits, but I guess that's what we were always thinking. At least that's what Minty told me a long time ago. That's how it's going to be done. And the art for that kind of wasn't that good, but I was glad it was there. And they also, I don't want to give too many, I don't want to talk about too much, but the fact that they went further into the future, I thought that was interesting. It was a cool, like, pleasant surprise as a manga reader to actually see something that I wasn't expecting. Everything else in this episode was kind of expected. I was kind of on the edge of my seat when they were adding the scenes to the 139 bit with Armin and Eren, and I was like, "Oh, is this going to be like? Are they going to really change things up here? Or are they going to majorly like stick with what's happening?" And they did just stick with it mainly for the most part. But yeah, at the end when they were like showing the really transition in the future, I was kind of excited because I'm like, "Oh, this is like new stuff. Like they're right at the end here; they can do anything," and that was kind of cool. Anyway, let me just actually read some stuff here. But I have a lot of thoughts, so don't worry. I'll have a lot to talk about next time we actually have a proper recorded discussion on this. But those are just some scattered thoughts. Jeez, there's a lot of messages. All right, so I reckon Ari will be the most negative in the discussion, potentially. But potentially not. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to give away my true thoughts yet, you know. Oh no, he likes it. It would have been better if they had different colossal designs looking down instead of the same one. No, absolutely not. You're dead wrong. That was the best part of this episode. I think it's the best, like I said, it's the best directing decision to have a single colossal titan and not have the other ones. I don't know what it is. I can't describe to you why that works so well, but it only works because it is a single colossal titan looking down. I can't describe it, all right? Let me just say that in my humble opinion, you know, what got to me emotionally and evocatively, it was the single titan looking down without the background changing, with the music timing up with it looking, I don't know, it just works so well. And I just don't know how to describe it. Maybe I'll think about it more, but it worked well. Mappa has never done a good ODM scene. I kind of agree with that. Like the flock fight at the dock that everyone went crazy about, you could see fucking thing because of the chop. Yeah, I completely agree. Look at this. We got a retrospective hater with me. I'm great because I'm glad because everyone else loved that episode. It is another insane thing is the fact that I'm starting to sound negative. Let me just say, I love this episode, right? I already like teased it by saying that I cried more for this than I cried for any other Attack on Titan episode, which means it's probably my favorite, whatever. We'll see how it goes when I actually talk about this and have time to think about it. But it's insane seeing how many people praise Mappa and Hayashi and all that for this amazing quality production in terms of animation and direction and everything, and then complain about the smallest things in Jujutsu Kaisen when the two are not even comparable. Jujutsu Kaisen is the best looking thing I have seen in terms of anime ever. Movies, TV, whatever. It's the best thing I've seen. It's the best thing Mappa's ever put out. It's fantastic. This is really good. I like it. I don't even think this is the best that Attack on Titan has ever looked. I think it looks good, but to see people praising it as the most amazing thing they've ever seen, and then at the same time, people also complaining about Jujutsu Kaisen is insane to me. But anyway, what am I up to? Mappa has never done a good early game. Yeah, I talked about that. I didn't like that Izayama just made shit up. Yeah, true. You know, he just made all this up. You know, it all came from his head. They made it look more likely that the parasite died in the anime, right? I think it just looked the same, right? It was just like they had the fog, like it was like disappearing. I don't know. I've seen a few reactions that missed it and were like, well, what happened to the parasite thing? So I guess maybe it was a bit less obvious to see. I don't know. Why would they include the conclusion to School Cast, which they've never adapted before? That'd be super weird. Because the rest of School Cast doesn't matter, and you can have it framed as the ending. It depends how you frame it. Because there's obviously the message at the end is about how, like if you were to have the School Cast thing at the end, you could frame something about how it'd be a hopeful message, right? About how even despite all the terrible things that happen, things will eventually be forgotten, and what really matters is friendship in the end. You know, it's a very shonen thing, but that's not really what. It's hard to explain how it could work well. I think I will do a video on this. Like I tweeted out right at the end of last year, one of my thumbnails that I tweeted out was an Attack on School Cast one, but I don't know. I think it's a lost opportunity. I don't know. We'll see. But I also don't think it'd be weird because it's the only way you could truly have those characters appear in that final like post-epilogue kind of thing and it work because it doesn't depend on anything in the past. I don't know. Anyway. Why does Eren still have to touch Zeke to do a rumbling? Couldn't he just change the way it works? Or is it because he was giving the Avengers a chance to stop him? Well, clearly I don't know. I don't know, and I don't really care. I remember when I was reading 137, I guess. I also like was interested about it. But I don't know. It doesn't bother me these days anymore. I haven't really thought much about it. I love the credits. They were a bit awkwardly directed. It felt like they ran out of time or something to, it was like an afterthought where they were like, oh, we got the credits. Let's quickly do these bonus pages. So I don't know. It was interesting. Why is the root of all life or whatever the fuck in the tree if it left Aaron? Because the implication is that it didn't. I mean, it might have left Aaron, but there were probably traces of it in the head or something. Like, that's the interesting sci-fi kind of ending, which I think is kind of skipped over in the way they do these credits, because in the manga it's much clearer that the tree is like the ground beneath the tree is growing before the tree itself grows. Whereas in the anime it's a bit less clear. The way they bridge between different generations, like the tree growing up, I guess, is more rigid and it kind of doesn't come across that well. I don't know. I think how much do I want to say? Okay, let me just say this because it's very specific. I think the manga epilogue pages with the B2 bombers, for instance, I think that's an incredibly evocative visual because it is directly a reference to our society. The issue with the anime's ending with those I don't know, and the epilogue pages into the future showing the future wars of Paradis, there is nothing there that really makes it feel like it's our world, like our modern 2023 world. There's no B2 stealth bombers or anything like that that really makes it feel like, wow, this is our world. But it kind of makes up for it by going further into the future. I don't know. I'm a bit torn on it. But anyway, the end credits made Paradis look like Coruscant. Yeah, I thought I kind of like that element of it, making up for the fact that it didn't show our society by showing a future one. That was kind of cool. And it felt so different from the rest of AOT, which is kind of what I also liked about the epilogue pages, where it's like, man, this is not the world we've known for 139 chapters. It's so different. And seeing the futuristic cityscape with the glowing like lights and stuff felt so different from the rest of AOT that I liked a lot. Let's see. It's weird you cry a lot and yet you're a psychopath. Wait, me? Am I a psychopath? I don't know. My girlfriend didn't like One Punch Man episode 1 because it was badly animated. That's crazy. My goodness. She should try Mob Psycho 100, see if she also thinks that's badly animated. That's funny. Aaron's just a dumb fuck. Nukes could never destroy a rumbling. I know you've had this debate. I don't even remember what side you were on. I don't know. I don't even know. That explosion that Armin did in this episode was basically a nuke. That was insane. Oh, look to the right. It's the clip of Grisha teleporting as he cries. This? Grisha teleports there? I don't even remember. Oh, you're talking about the directing of that scene where, yeah, that was really, I like that one. That was cool. Oh, look at the right clip. Memories of the Future is really up there. It's top 5 episodes of AOT. Memories of the Future is a really good episode. Oh, look at the right. Maybe you're just wrong. Yeah, maybe. AOT, all right? That was AOT, Mappa, whatever. We got a bunch of stuff we're covering. I think I've given enough thoughts and I've left out enough so that we can actually have a lot to talk about when it comes to our actual discussion that's going to be recorded.